psychological manipulation typically used by narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths. You've probably heard the term before, but might not be completely aware of how it works, or if anyone you know has been using it on you. Gaslighters basically manipulate how you see reality. They cause you to question your own abilities, memories, and even your sanity. When you've been gaslighted, you often feel like something is wrong with you, but you are not certain what or why. Here are some of the tactics gaslighters use to confuse and manipulate you. Number 1. They lie to you. Gaslighters are habitual and pathological liars. They will tell bald-faced lies and then insist that they are telling the truth, despite all evidence to the contrary. You can't convince them to admit to a lie. In fact, they will insist that any evidence you might offer is itself a lie. They demonstrate such conviction in their lies that they can cause you to second-guess objective truth. They will insist on their truth and can do so very persuasively. They are able to keep you feeling confused and off balance. Even when they don't fool you, you can be left with the impression that they are being perfectly sincere, albeit their position or perception is obviously wrong. Number 2. They undermine your reputation. Gaslighters are able to identify people who will take their side, no matter what the issue may be. They then recruit these people to attack you by making up rumors that call your character, or even your sanity, into question. They may even state that they are concerned about you and suggest to others that your behavior is disturbing. This approach can be very effective. By initiating and then dominating the narrative, the gaslighter will gain allies while keeping them in the dark as to what is really going on. They may even tell you that other people think there is something wrong with you, while others might not be saying any such things at all. But unfortunately, a gaslighter can be very convincing, and this can devastate your relationships with people. Number 3. They steer you away from the actual topic. When you ask a gaslighter about something, or try to nail them down for something they have said or done, don't be surprised if they change the subject without addressing it. They will often either ask you a question to deflect you, or accuse you of something. A gaslighter will typically react by claiming that they never said what you say they did. They will accuse you of remembering incorrectly or imagining things, or suggest that you got the idea from your crazy friends. Number 4. They ridicule how you think and feel. A gaslighter may try to gain control over you by discounting your feelings and thoughts. They will accuse you of being overly sensitive or tell you that your thought processes are faulty. Typical statements include, "Don't you think you're getting too emotional?" Or, "How in the world could you think something foolish like that?" By trivializing you, they disarm any point of view you have or any argument you make. This can make you question yourself and the validity of your own views and feelings. You could then come to lose self-confidence and even self-respect, leaving you vulnerable to their thought control. Number 5. They transfer blame. Gaslighters love to transfer blame to others. If you sense that someone is constantly twisting a discussion so as to place blame on you, that person is very likely a natural gaslighter. These people don't stop at facts. If you try to simply talk about how they are making you feel, a gaslighter will construe what you are saying so as to blame you for how you feel. They are so adept at this that you can end up thinking that their bad behavior is your fault. They even tell you that they would treat you better if only you acted differently. Number 6. They deny doing anything wrong. Gaslighters never do anything wrong, and they are never responsible for anything that goes wrong. If they make a bad decision or fail at something, they avoid taking responsibility for it. If their actions have caused you pain, they will not admit to it. Gaslighters do not apologize. This behavior further injures and frustrates victims, who are left wondering what they have done to earn such treatment. As a result, these victims are often unable to overcome their hurt feelings. Number 7. They turn compassion into a weapon.
2 Corinthians 2:4, in whom 2 Corinthians the 4th chapter, verse 4, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, See, this is one of the tactics that the God of this world uses to blind the minds of the people. He gaslight them and make them doubt their beliefs. He straight up bold-faced tell them a lie and gaslight them to make them think that he's telling the truth and he's honest. See, let's get 1 Corinthians 11. Oh, I think it's 2 Corinthians 11. Salakia. So look at what it says in 14 here. Well, let's get 13 and say, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers. See, they working deceitfully, but this is how they do it. It's all about casting doubt. It says 14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is formed into an angel of light. See, he presenting himself as telling the truth. It's all about playing with your mind and using these tactics of gaslighting. Okay. Let's see here. Psalm 58 and 3. It say, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. See, this is a bloodline. Who is the wicked? This is a bloodline that's pushing this gaslighting situation. This is how they operate. This is one of their traits. Now, this is talking about Esau, but his whole nation is called Edom, so it's directed towards his nation, his heritage. Verse 4 say, whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus says the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. See, that's who is the wicked of the Bible, because Esau was a twin brother to Jacob, and he was created to be the adversary of Jacob. So when Jacob disobeyed, he was going to use Esau's nation to be a wicked nation to punish the nation of Israel for their wickedness. So when the nation of Israel went off and began to do wickedness and serve other gods, he created Esau in the womb with him so he can be an adversary to him, to always be there to punish him for the Lord. Because it's going to be the Lord doing it, but it's always going to be used by Esau. Look at what it said in 17 and 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked. See, the nation of Edom, which is your sword. See, they are the sword of the Lord. Look at 14 and say, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life. Esau have his portion in this life. This is Esau's kingdom. See, he's giving this kingdom to pretty much help the Lord send Jacob through the fire and refine Jacob. He's a sword of the Lord. He's the refining nation of the nation of Israel, to put the nation of Israel through that fire. It goes on to say in 14, it say, and whose belly thou filleth with thy hid treasure. See, the Lord is filling these Edomites' belly. He's making them rich, like Romans 9 and 17. He's raising them up, like Daniel 4 and 17 too. He set them up, this base nation, this wicked nation, and put treasures in their belly and filled it up. He said they are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. See, they leave their money to their children. They enslaved the nation of Israel, used the nation of Israel to increase in riches and start building the country, and they drop dead. And then their children received those same riches that they built up and continued to enslave the children of Israel. Now let's get that in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28:44. It say, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. See, once they was full with treasures and riches from the Most High, by being that whipping stick for the Most High, they passed that substance on down to their children, and their children is carrying on the same situation. Now let's go to Proverbs. I want to get that because it's so perfect for what we're talking about. Let's say lender. Okay. Right. I think it's this one right here. It say, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is the slave or servant to the lender. So we have to borrow everything from the so-called white man. That's why we are still slaves. We are still slaves to the nation of Edom because we have to borrow from these people. He can let you borrow $1 billion, but if he got $1 trillion, you still a slave to him. That's what these Negroes don't understand. They thinking because they got some kind of wealth and some kind of high living quality that they not a slave anymore. Just because this man don't got them in chains, they not a slave anymore. That don't dictate slavery. That don't dictate being a slave to somebody. And a slave ain't nothing but a servant. Just another word for servant. That don't dictate that. And so, but that's what the Negroes think, and they think somebody done set them free from something. No, they haven't. They haven't set you free until you have the same amount of money as them. If you have to borrow from them and be a beggar, you still in hell, because that's another thing. See, the Lord put us in hell for disobeying him. We have to live a lifestyle is like being in hell. Look at Ecclesiasticus 40:28. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg. So for we begging off this man's table, we begging off Esau's table, and it's like being in hell, because this is not a freedom. See, freedom is when you don't have to beg. But see, these people think they free just because they sitting around and they can have little possessions and live better than some of these other peoples in other countries. Why you want to go and leave America? Ain't no place better than America. See, that's how they thinking, that they free. All right, let's get this. It says, there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared presumptuously every day. Okay, let's get verse 20. Saying, there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores. He said, verse 21, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. So this rich man is Esau, and the Lazarus is the beggar, is the nation of Israel. That's why Lazarus wound up being the one that got resurrected from the dead, because he was dead. The nation of Israel was dead, and Yahushua is going to deliver them and resurrect them from the dead and put them as kings and priests on the earth, to get straight to the point. But this is their refining period. Now let's go to that in Zechariah 8, I think. Let's get 8 and 13. I think it's 13 and 8. Salakia. 13 and 8. See, this is what Esau is doing. It said, "It shall come to pass that in all the land," meaning all the land of these red dragons, saith the Lord, "two parts therein shall be cut off and die, and a third shall be left therein." Here it is in verse 9. That's what I want to get. It said, "It shall bring the third part through the fire," see, "and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried." So that's what the nation of Israel is doing to the nation of Edom, the so-called white man. This is what he is made to do for the nation of Israel. He's there to be refining the nation of Israel, trying them like they try gold, to make them more pure. See, to let them know and appreciate their God and their Father. And that was the plan of the Most High. He planned all these things out. Let's get that in Romans 9. This is the Most High's plan, not what the Christianity church say. Verse 11, it say, "For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth." See, this is his purpose, that the nation of Edom is the adversary to the nation of Israel. So they're going to use gaslighting, they're going to lie, and they're going to be the opposite of the truth. That's why I say he is the father of the lie. He's embodying that whole situation. They're going to lie and use deception. They say Edom at the top, verse 1. Doggone Edom. So it was talking about the Edomites. It say Edomite. It was talking about the Edomites. It say, "Thy tongue deceiveth mischief," gaslighting. "Like a sharp razor working deceitfully," gaslighting. "Thou lovest evil more than good," and lying, gaslighting all day, rather than to speak righteousness. See, they love telling a bold-faced lie. Verse 4, "Thou lovest all devouring words, O deceitful tongue." See, that's how they operate. That's how they get down. You see, and let me get 58, because they was born this way. That's why this is said, "The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies." Their forefathers did it. Esau was a cunning hunter. He was made, and this was his purpose, to be the adversary, to be the opposite side, to be the wicked of going against the righteous. And people just don't understand the plan of the Lord. And so they don't understand he had a specific plan. And they just looking at everything about, black and white and good and bad. And it's just they all thrown off, because when you got a plan, you stick to the plan. And so he gave all the plan through the prophets. Let me get this one first, because this is the one I was thinking about. He gave the prophets the plan. And so this is what James said when he stood up and gave the brethren his opinion, or what he thought. Verse 15, but this ain't no opinion now. This still the words of the Lord. 15 and 15. "To this agree the words of the prophets." So the words of the prophets is what is going on. That the nation of Israel is going to return, is going to be rebuilt, because it failed and it's in ruins. And the Lord is going to set it up. Just like verse 16 say. That tabernacle of David represents the nation of Israel, all 12 tribes. See, and that's what it was all about. David was ruling over the whole 12 tribes. That's why he's saying the tabernacle of David, because he represented all the 12 tribes. And so this is pretty much the gaslighting situation that we dealing with, where they gonna reject everything. Christianity is the philosophy and the gaslighting tool of the so-called white man. They gaslight you to make you think that God lied in all his prophecies. He told a bold-faced lie. And Esau is telling a lie. See, the Christianity is telling a lie. God didn't lie on any prophecy. Every prophecy he gave to the children of Israel was going to happen to the children of Israel and nobody else. He didn't create some new so-called New Testament to debunk every prophecy that the prophets gave in the Old Testament about the nation of Israel. Nothing in the Old Testament tells you that the nation of Israel is not going to rule in their kingdom over the heathens. No prophecy anywhere. Let's go to one of those real quick to show how it's an easy operation. Amos 9 and 12. And this is what James was quoting too. He said that they may possess the remnant of Edom, the so-called white man, and of all the heathen. See, they're going to possess them. They're going to make them their slaves. They're going to have to serve them. They're going to have to borrow from them. See, he just going to reverse the situation. And that's his plans. And all the prophets agree. They don't contradict each other. They all agree that it was about the nation of Israel, and it's always going to be about the nation of Israel. God don't change. See, the changing is that the so-called white man became the ruler and the lender, and he lent the scriptures back to the Israelites after he stole them and gave them a gaslighting theology. So that's why there's a bunch of confusion and people are thinking they crazy because they're reading the scriptures and saying one thing and then he's saying another. But I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakadash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai being the name of his only begotten Son, who they ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves scattered around the globe. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.